One of the questions that you might have, and certainly a question that people have asked me, is do I think it's possible to learn an instrument through online lessons? And the answer is yes. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't think that it was a great alternative to coming in and seeing me in the studio or wherever you're at, signing up with a local teacher, whatever the case might be. One of those reasons is I know that there's just a high percentage of people out there who aren't ever going to take the time, make the commitment to sign up with seeing somebody one-on-one individually. And the number one advantage to the online format is that you don't need to come in and see me once a week. We don't have to worry about scheduling anything. You can go through the lessons at your own pace, at your own rate, on your own schedule. You don't have to explain to me if you got busy with life that week or if other things started to take priorities. Certainly I understand that those things all come up. They come up in my life too, of course, when I'm practicing and just things I have to deal with. So that's just one of the advantages of taking lessons online. But there's a number of other things. One of the great things I've found, especially through recording this series for the beginning guitar class, is that you can really go back and you can watch the lessons over and over again. You can see the teaching points, you can see the things that I'm talking about, you can watch exactly how my left hand was, how my right hand was again and again. I think about when I was taking lessons and when I first started the guitar, it just wasn't practical to have a video camera around with me everywhere I went. We didn't have phones, we didn't have cameras on them everywhere. So I would go in, I would take a lesson, and then the rest of the week I'd just have to really recall what it was that the lesson was about and try to remember, okay, how did my guitar teacher's wrist look when they were playing? How did their picking hand look when they were playing? So a lot of those things, the week would pass and I didn't exactly have a clear image or clear recollection of what it was exactly that they did. And I'd go back and they'd have to come in and correct some things about how either my wrist was or how my left hand was coming to the guitar. Well, the advantage of having this all on video and in this set curriculum is that not only are you getting the same content that I'm going to provide to students when I'm teaching them in a one-on-one environment, but you have the advantage of that they're all recorded for you too. You don't have to come into a lesson, set up a tripod, get everything set up and videotape every lesson that you have, and also pay more for it through the process. Now again, I love teaching in person, and I love, for those of you who don't know, I teach Suzuki guitar, which is starting young children at a very early age. Number of students of mine have started at 2.5 years old, and a lot of young children, and I absolutely love working with them. But one of the advantages that you have is that you can go ahead and just watch the videos and see exactly how my left hand is, my right hand was, and all the main teaching points that you really want to capture are right there for you. The second thing is that sometimes with some of the scales and some of the formats, I like to write things out and present things in just a little bit more visual way. During a lesson, sometimes I might be writing out those things and taking the time to go through that. In the video course here, obviously I'm not sitting there writing them out in the video. I might do some things on the whiteboard and some explanations like that, but the scale shapes and everything, they're just downloadable PDF files. So you go ahead and you can just print them out, create a little binder. If you're doing the iPad thing like I'm doing, where you just have the PDFs on the iPad, use an iPad reader or whatnot, great way to practice. So that's another advantage too, is that it's just going to save some time throughout that. Now there are some things that you can do to get the most out of this. For example, just like when I'm practicing, one of my favorite things to do is to take out my phone, to take out my iPad, to take out, if you're a tablet, if you're an Android person, fine, but just something that has a camera on it, right? And sit there and record yourself practicing. Then go back, watch some of the videos, watch some of the things that we're talking about with the left hand, the angle of the wrist, the way that the fingers are coming to the guitar, and just give yourself a lesson. It's actually better this way than, when I'm teaching, sometimes I try to be very cautious about just telling the student exactly what to fix, because they're going to learn more and you're going to learn more when you have to go through and you have to kind of discover these things. So when you start looking at your wrist and saying, does that match the way that my wrist matched in the video? Or if you look at the way that you're holding the pick versus me just telling you, no, change your wrist like this. You might not actually understand why I'm saying to make that change, but the real reason is because it's tense, it's bent funny, it's at a different angle. So if you record yourself playing as kind of a supplement when you're practicing, then go back and watch some of the videos, you're just going to get so much more out of your practice time. And not only that, but you learn how to start effectively teaching yourself the guitar, okay? And of course, one of the larger points here too is that, so what I've put together is a set curriculum, right? It's a step-by-step process that I've known to work. And I've taught hundreds of students, certainly with this curriculum. I think I've taught now well over 1,000 students, including a lot of the camps and group classes and things that I've taught over the years. So I have a pretty good understanding of, what are some of the common questions, what are some of the points that come up, common pitfalls that students have while they're working through these exercises, and also know where to start at. One of the reasons why we start at BehrGuitar.com with the complete beginning guitar course is because when we're first starting, I start with this exercise where you're just playing basically one finger at a time on one string. And the whole idea behind that is just learning how to strengthen the fingers, learning how to develop those fingers before you start learning how to do chords. Lesson 2 is on chords, but I don't want to get into that quite yet until I first know that you start to develop some finger strength within each individual finger. So the whole course is designed around that concept of knowing a curriculum that works, knowing a curriculum that will help you progress on the guitar in a very logical way, and actually quickly and rapidly if you follow the steps. Now, sometimes, I understand that there's probably, and this happens within, the lessons itself, when I'm teaching one-on-one, sometimes a student will want to jump ahead a little bit. And a lot of times that can be a mistake. If you just follow things in order and kind of first learn one step before you go on to the next, it usually is going to end up being a little bit faster of a progression because you'll have built and developed certain abilities before you're going on to the more advanced steps. So one of those things I'd encourage anybody who does end up taking the video course is just to really go through it step by step and watch the videos a couple times. Just be sure that they have a pretty good understanding of what the main teaching points are in there. And of course, I try to kind of help you out with that with some of the text and whatnot in between the video lessons. So another great kind of way to do it here as well. Now, at the end of the day, whether you come in personally and take a lesson with me, or whether you're doing the video course, one of the things that it's all going to come down to too is just how you practice. So follow my blog. That's going to be at BehrGuitar.com/blog. And I'll probably put a lot of that on my Facebook site as well. So that's BehrGuitar.com on Facebook. Feel free to look that up and I'll have plenty of posts on there. But we'll talk about some of the different ways that you can practice, some of the ways to be a very effective practicer, and frankly, some ways to get motivated to practice as well. Because whether or not you're coming in for lessons with me personally or you're taking the video course, a lot of your success is going to depend on how you develop your practice routine. And I want to give you some advice that's going to help out with that. Again, you'll get that through the complete beginner's guitar course. You also get some of that from the blog posts that I'm going to be doing. You also get some of that from right here on the YouTube channel. So keep checking back. Go ahead, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook, BehrGuitar.com. Check out the website, BehrGuitar.com as well. I think I'm also on Snapchat, BehrGuitar.com. So all of those resources to help you get the most out of the guitar and to enjoy the guitar.